Now, I think I'm earning a lot in my part-time job. So for the month of April, I got so much money, I guess. Because it's something like I wanna keep it private, I think for me. Hello guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for today's video, I'm going to share with you guys like how much money I'm earning from my part-time job here in Japan. So I know you guys are curious like how much money are we earning here in Japan, but of course I'm not gonna disclose or discuss something about my full-time job because it's something like I wanna keep it private, I think for me. But I think there are some teachers here in Japan who are sharing like how much money they are earning in their full-time job. But in my case, I'm only gonna share with you guys like the things that I earn for my part-time job. Started this summer, I only got like one part-time job. But before summer, like from January to June, I think, I got two part-time jobs. I work from Monday actually to Sunday. So Sunday is not a rest day for me, but a work day for me. But to tell you honestly, like my work on Sunday is kinda it's light and it's very refreshing for me. My Sunday work is actually like a private lesson for me. So they are my private students. And yeah, they are not affiliated or connected to any schools that I'm working with, but it's just like alone. They are my private students every Sunday. It wasn't hard because the students are also good. They are half Japanese and half Filipino. They are good in English. They can speak English, but I'm trying to practice them like how to read. They're good. So I just taught them like how to read, and luckily and happily to say that they learned at least how to read before we stopped. This last year, I visited the Philippines. I went back to the Philippines for a vacation. I stayed there for almost 2 months, if I'm not mistaken, though. And then, yeah. So before I went back to the Philippines, I was earning like so much money because I worked last year in this company for my part-time job from Tuesday to Saturday, and Saturday is like 4 hours and a half. And mind you guys as well, like for our part-time jobs here, and I think not only for part-time jobs but for full-time job, we are getting paid per hour. It's in my part-time job, I'm getting paid like 2,000 yen per hour plus the transportation around like 600 yen. If I work for 4 hours, meaning to say I'm going to get like 8,000 yen plus the transportation for the day. So do you get that? So it's easy. All right, now so much talking, so I think it's about time to show you like my payslip from January until July this month. So let's start. This is my payslip, guys. So as you can see, for the month of January, I only worked for 8 days. So yeah, so how many hours did I work during that time? So it's here. So the days of worked was 8 days, and working hours was 21. So I worked for 21 hours during the month of January. And then this is the hourly wage, which is 2,000 yen. And the basic pay is 42,000 yen plus the transportation. So if you're going to total the transportation that I had for the whole month, it's 4,746 yen. So the total payment that I got during this month was 46,476 yen. Now, if you're going to convert this one to dollars, I'm not really sure about it. If it's in dollar, I think it's $460, if I'm not mistaken, though. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And then for Philippine peso, I think it would be around like 20,000 pesos or 21, 22. So it depends on the exchange rate, but it's around like that, like 21 to 22,000 pesos. Yeah. All right, now it's time to move on to the next month, which is February. Now let's go to my February payslip, guys. So here it is. So my February payslip is this one. So for the month of February, I worked for 12 days. And yeah, oh, that's nice. Anyways, so I worked for 12 days. The basic pay that I got during that time was 65,000 yen, plus the transportation, which was 7,226 yen. And the total payment that I got during this month was 72,226 yen. Now, if you're gonna convert this one to dollars, I think it's about $700 or $720. But yeah, in the Philippines, it's about 35,000 pesos or 33,000 pesos. And as you can see, I still got like remaining paid holidays, which I didn't use during this month. All right, now guys, let's move on to the next month. Now let's go to my March payslip. So for this month, I also worked for, I worked for 13 days, but I got a lower salary than February though. But let's see why. Oh, I see. All right. Now, as you can see, guys, I worked for 13 days, but it's a little lower compared to the month before that. For this month, I only got 70,164 yen. So let's see why. Oh, I see. Now look at number 2, guys. For number 2, I only worked for 45 minutes. It's not even an hour, guys. So meaning to say, I only got less money from this day. And I also worked for 40 minutes for number 9. So I don't know why. Maybe I was late during this time. I think I was. Maybe I was late during that time, so I only worked for 40 minutes. Or maybe I did substitution, but it was unexpected. Like I was told like minutes or hours or an hour before the actual time. So I think that was it. Yeah, so for this month, again, I worked for 13 days. So my working hours was 31.5. So it was 31.5. So the basic pay that I got was 63,000 yen, and the transportation that I had before was 7,164 yen. So the total payment was 70,164 yen. Now, if you're going to convert this one to dollars again, I think it's gonna be like $700, and then if it's in Philippine peso, I think it's going to be around 33,000 pesos. Yes. So now let's move on to the next month, which is April. So guys, this is my April payslip. So there was a big change for the format of the payslip. I don't know why, but yeah, I like it better. Now, April is actually the start of the new semester. April is actually the first month for the school year. So during April, we start for the whole school year. And usually, school starts in my part-time job maybe around like second week of April or first week of April. So it depends. So this is the new school year, and luckily, so it's a long story to share, guys. But yeah, they offered me, like my part-time job, they offered me to have like so much loads for this school year. So they offered me to work from Monday to Saturday except Tuesdays. So I got Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So for the month of April, I got so much money, I guess. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you my payslip for April. So look at this, guys. Oh, so as you can see, we started on the 6th of April. Yeah. So here, guys, for the month of April, I worked for 18 days. And my working hours was like 50 hours. So I worked for 50 hours and 30 minutes last April. And of course, the hourly wage still the same. It's 2,000 yen. And the basic pay that I got was 101,000 yen. The transportation was 10,672 yen. So here, guys, so by the way, I think there's a rule in Japan or law, like if your part-time job exceeds, let's say for example, that you earned more than 80,000 yen or more than 100,000 yen, you need to pay for the tax, 10% tax. So I paid an income tax, which was 1,130 yen. So the total payment that I got during this month was 117,968 yen. So it's a lot, guys. So I think if you're going to convert this one in dollars, I think it's $1,000, $1,010 maybe, or $1,017. I'm not sure, but yeah, It's quite big though. So if you're gonna convert this one to Philippine peso, I think it's going to be around like 50,000 pesos or more. Anyways, so I still got like 4 days left for my paid holidays. All right, now let's move on to the next month. So let's see my payslip for May. All right, for the month of May, I worked for 18 days again. So I worked for 52 hours in the month of May. And then still for the hourly wage, it's still 2,000 yen. Then my basic pay was 104,000 yen. Plus the transportation, I had 10,548 yen. And then I got an income tax because I think I exceeded for 100,000 yen. So I got 930 yen for my income tax. So the total payment that I got during this month was 113,618 yen. So if you're gonna convert this one to dollars, I think it's gonna be $1,013. And if it's in Philippine peso, I think it would be around like 50 to 51,000 pesos. I'm not really sure about that, but yeah. All right, now let's move on to my June payslip. So for this month, okay, as you can see guys, I worked again for 18 days. And for this month, I worked for 50 hours in this month. Same for the hourly wage. And then my basic pay was 100,000 yen. And plus the transportation. So I used 2 of my paid holidays. So it was 7,426. So I got an income tax for this month, which was 1,130. The total payment that I got for this month was 116,844 yen. So I still got like 2 days left for my paid holidays. So as I've mentioned a while ago, guys, I'm going to show you, I was about to show you my payslip for the month of January until July, because in this month, we are in July right now. But unfortunately, I can only show you until June because we are not yet done with July. So we are going to get our payslip for the month of July around August 2nd. And then we're going to get our payment or our salary for the month of July in August. Specifically like on August 10th. So, yeah, so I cannot show you yet my payslip for the month of July, but I think it's not going to be 100,000. I think it will be less. I think I will only get around, based on my estimation, I think it's going to be 80,000 yen to 90,000 yen, in between of 80,000 yen and 90,000 yen. So yeah. That's pretty much it, guys. So aside from getting a full-time job, like earning from my full-time job, I also get some money from my part-time job, which, just like what I've showed you guys, some people are getting like lower than 2,000 yen per hour, or some people are actually getting higher than 2,000 yen, maybe around 4,000 yen. But in my case, I'm getting 2,000 yen per hour, and I'm very grateful with that. It's actually a good money, guys, to tell you honestly. Plus, 100,000 yen per month for your part-time job is really big for me, guys. Like, it's really big. And I got lucky for my part-time job. So not everyone has the same experience, but yeah, it depends on your dedication to look for part-time jobs and how much you would like to work in a month. Actually, before, like, I also have like part-time job on Saturdays. They are my private students during Saturdays, and I only work for them like for 2 hours. I only teach 2 kids for 2 hours, and then I'm getting around 8,500 yen only for 2 hours. I'm really happy for that because, you know, 8,000 yen per week is not a joke, guys. That's a lot of money. That 8,000 yen would suffice my food for the whole week. Like 1,000 per day is kind of good, right? But yeah, so every Sunday now I'm free, but that's totally fine with me because I'm also having my Japanese classes during Saturdays and Sundays at night around like 6 o'clock until 9. But for Japan time, it's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So my part-time job in Japan is also related to teaching because my visa only allows me to work as a teacher in Japan. Other than being a teacher, I cannot do that, or else they will ask me to go back to the Philippines, or the term that I can use is I will be deported to the Philippines. It's really important, guys, that you know what kind of visa that you have in Japan, because there are only specific jobs and part-time jobs that you can have depending on what type of visa that you have. So I cannot work part-time here like as a convenience staff or convenience store assistant or staff. I cannot work in a restaurant. I can't work in other jobs aside from teaching. So it's very strict here in Japan when it comes to visa and the kind of work that you have. So you have to be mindful and careful. Do not be illegal, guys. I actually had a problem with this one before because I didn't know that I need to apply for a permit to work part-time in the immigration office. So I had a problem with that before, and also it will reflect to your tax. So it's going to be like, they will know if you're working part-time or not. So it's kind of mendokusai. So when we say mendokusai in Japan, it's hassle, but you are in a different country, so you have no choice but to follow the rules. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also like it or share it if you want, and I will really appreciate that so much. So thank you so much. See you again in my next vlog or video. Goodbye!